All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty different.
Yeah.
We're diving into Anonymous.
Ooh, exciting.
It is exciting,
Yeah.
and it's complex.
Absolutely.
We see them on the news, we see those Guy Fawkes masks popping up all over the place, but
Right.
there's just so much more to it.
Oh, yeah,
So much history to this group.
for sure.
Um, and really, when we were looking into it, we were struck by the fact that
Yeah.
they didn't start out this way at all.
It's really fascinating how they've evolved.
Right. Like,
Oh,
where did this all begin?
so, like, a lot of people don't realize, but Anonymous actually came from,
Yeah.
like, the depths of 4chan.
Yeah.
This, like, really chaotic, kind of Wild West of an online forum,
Right,
It
right.
was all about, like, anonymity and sort of pushing the boundaries and seeing what you could get away with.
Hmm. Yeah.
And, a lot of it was just about pranks and trolling and just,
Yeah.
stirring up trouble for the lulz, as they would say.
For the lulz, yeah. So it was really this breeding ground for internet culture and all the weirdness and
Oh, yeah.
mayhem that comes with it.
And I think that's what's so fascinating is how this group that was born out of,
Right.
this chaos and this sort of like almost nihilistic kind of humor
Mhm.
evolved into something that actually started to have a real world impact.
Yeah, and one of the big turning points there was
Yeah.
that everyone always points to is Operation Chanology in 2008.
Yeah, that was like their coming out party,
Yeah, yeah.
on the world stage. Like suddenly people were like, wait, who are these guys with the masks? And what are they doing?
Yeah, it was this huge clash with the Church of Scientology.
Exactly. It all started with the church trying to suppress this video of Tom Cruise,
All right, right.
talking about Scientology. And Anonymous, well, they didn't take too kindly to that. And
No.
that's when we saw these like classic anonymous tactics come out,
Yeah.
like the website flooding and the prank calls, and of course those iconic protests with the Guy Fawkes masks.
It was like a real turning point from just like,
Right.
online pranks to like, hey, we're taking on real world issues here.
It was definitely a statement, like we're here, we're not going anywhere, and we're not afraid to take you on.
And they didn't stop there, obviously. They
Oh,
kind of
no.
kept escalating from there.
Yeah, they went after governments, they went after corporations,
Huge corporation.
all sorts of powerful institutions.
Involved in everything from the Arab Spring
Hmm.
to, more recent stuff like Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what we wanted to dive into here is,
Yeah.
was there any strategy to all this? Was this,
Uh,
deliberately planned out, or were they just kind of reacting
Yeah.
to events as they unfolded?
That's what makes Anonymous so fascinating, It's like they're this decentralized
Yeah.
network, right? There's no central command. There's no single leader calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like this swarm,
Right.
Like individuals and small groups all sort of responding to issues that, okay.
Resonate with them.
Yeah.
So, like, you mentioned Operation Payback earlier.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting one because it showed how
Oh.
committed they were to information freedom and challenging these powerful institutions. I mean, they went after these companies that boycotted WikiLeaks
Yeah.
because they felt like WikiLeaks was being unfairly targeted
Interesting.
for exposing the truth.
So it was more than just about WikiLeaks. It
Wow.
was about this
Exactly.
deeper philosophy almost.
Yeah, there's definitely a philosophy at play there,
Yeah.
This idea of fighting censorship, advocating for transparency, holding the powerful accountable.
Yeah.
That's a thread that runs through a lot of their actions. Like you think about their involvement in the Arab Spring, right?
Right. Right.
With Operation Tunisia, they were helping activists bypass government censorship,
Mhm.
giving them tools and support to
Fizz.
amplify their voices when they were being silenced.
Yeah. And their focus has definitely shifted over time, right?
For sure.
You see that in their actions.
Like early on, it was a lot about just disrupting these institutions. But then it seems like they started to get more involved in like actual social justice movements,
Right.
supporting activists on the ground.
Well, I think that's partly because the internet itself was evolving,
Right.
Social media was becoming this powerful tool for organizing and activism.
Yeah.
And Anonymous, they've always been really adaptable,
Yeah.
They're always using whatever tools they have at their disposal to further their goals. And as social justice issues gained prominence online, it's natural that individuals within Anonymous would start responding to those
Right.
calls to action.
And it really is like they became this
Yeah.
digital Robin Hood,
Yeah.
using their skills to fight for the voiceless, to challenge those in power.
That's definitely the image they've cultivated,
Yeah.
This idea that they're the good guys fighting for the little guy.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple, is it? I mean, there are methods while effective, they often walk a very fine ethical line, that vigilante justice approach. While it might be appealing to some, it also raises a lot of concerns about due process, about the potential for harm, about unintended consequences.
That's what really stuck out to me looking at all this research and
Yeah,
this double-edged sword aspect of it.
absolutely.
On the one hand, they're empowering individuals, they're exposing wrongdoing,
Right.
they're sourcing us to confront these uncomfortable truths.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
there's this potential for collateral damage for crossing ethical
Right.
boundaries.
And it's a tough balance, It's not always clear cut.
It's definitely not.
And I think that's what Anonymous really forces us to confront, These questions about power, about protest, about the ethics of hacking in the digital age.
Yeah, and the fact that it's so decentralized.
Right.
And you never really know who's behind it
Exactly.
or what they're going to do next makes it all the more intriguing.
It's that unpredictability that keeps you guessing, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I guess the question is,
Yeah.
what is their future?
Right. I mean, will they remain this force for disruption? Or will they find more constructive ways to channel their energy? I don't have the answers,
Yeah.
but I think it's something worth thinking about.
It is. It is. And I think one of the big takeaways for me is that
Yeah.
Anonymous has really shown us the power of the internet, both for
Absolutely.
good and for bad.
It's a tool, right? And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Mhm.
It depends on the hands that wield it.
They've shown us that individuals can make a difference,
Yeah.
but also that power, even when used with good intentions,
Right.
can have unintended consequences.
It's a lot to think about, that's for sure.
It is. It is. It's a lot to think about,
Yeah,
a lot to consider as we move forward in this digital age.
absolutely.
Yeah. So lots to ponder.
Lots to ponder for sure.
Thanks for diving deep with us today,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time.
See you then.